G'day guys, welcome back to Dune Awakening. Hope you guys are doing well. In the previous episode, we managed to sort out what was going on in this section. We've kind of created I don't want to say a more streamlined space because it is still quite complex, although I think we're utilizing the space a little bit better, and we've got this extra space down here which we can again decorate somehow. I'll probably return to that. I'm still thinking about what goes in there. Probably more chairs, more tables, stuff like that. But we'll circle back around to it. We completed a few different sort of quests recently, and we're trying to make this Fremen Death Still. We're trying to make the advanced version. So we needed some duraluminum in the previous episode. So I am going to quickly get changed, and I'm going to want to wear a little bit of extra armor in this episode, just because after we construct the Death Still, we're also going to need a corpse to place into the Death Still, right? So we may as well prepare ourselves with that requirement. So sorry, I don't want the pincushion stuff. I definitely want just the chome armor. So here we go, chome set. Let's take all of that. And yeah, we should be ready. Obviously we got a few late game pieces of equipment. I do want to talk to you guys a little bit more about that because I'm sort of looking at some build options, and a lot of people recommend going in with a shotgun, such as the perforator, which we happen to have one blueprint of, so I think I might actually make the perforator eventually. The question is whether or not I've got enough dust to actually get that done. Anyway, sorry. I digress. We do need the Death Still, so let's get the Death Still constructed first. And then once we're done, we should be able to go out and fetch ourselves a corpse. So I don't really know where to place the Death Still just yet, and I'm not entirely sure if we're going to keep the Death Still. I mean, we've got plenty of space over here, for instance, to place it down, but I'm thinking, considering we've got all this power generation going on in the garage over here, perhaps maybe the Death Still can just simply go somewhere here. Yeah, so like even in this corner here, it might not be a bad idea. So let's place it down. Obviously, I'm just doing this to be able to complete the quest. We might actually get rid of the Death Still a little bit later on, but yeah, we just need to pick up a corpse now. So, and I want to do two things at once here, which is to hopefully try to gather up some more of those pistons, because I did have to donate quite a few to get the house rewards. So we'll go out to the Atreides bases as usual. We'll maybe go through a couple of those bases and see how many we can just get. And yeah, that's the reason why we're wearing a little bit more armor, so we don't die as quick. Alright, let's get it done. I actually still have the rocket launcher with me, don't I? Which doesn't really have any more ammo. I'm just gonna switch back to the drill shot and use the drill shot instead. Come to me, my friend. I'm just here to give you a little bit of a tickle. Well, not exactly. Okay, good times. Now, I'm not entirely sure if I am going to go with the skills that I previously mentioned. Well, I guess the skills that I currently have equipped. I am really liking them for our current situation, but I think a lot of the suggestions do say to choose 3 different skills, in fact. So I might play around with those skills in the deep desert itself, right? Because that's going to be the ultimate test. Let's get rid of this guy first. I think we might still have someone up top. Oh, no. Hidden away. There we go. I'll take all of that. Okay. Now, one of the problems with our build at the moment is that I won't have access to a decent pistol or a decent SMG before I start going out to the deep desert and trying to solo some of those locations. And there are some specific SMGs and pistols that I might be looking for while we're out there. So hopefully we can just simply find them while we're out in the deep desert. Okay, I think we might be done here. Now, I do need to take one of the bodies, obviously, but I probably won't worry about taking one of the bodies from here because I do want to hit up one more spot for more of the pistons. And there should be another Atreides stronghold over on this side, or the other side of our base. So there should be another sniper rifle that might be better than the Dune Watcher that we are going to be using. But I don't have access to that particular blueprint just yet, so we're going to have to work for it and try to see if we can find it out there in the deep desert. So it's really going to come down to RNG at the end of the day and whether or not we'll actually be able to get the equipment that we want, but we'll give it a good crack. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. Ah, silly me. Alright, I've totally forgot to put my shields on. Alright, bear with me, guys. It's not too far off. Oh, goodness me. Alright, here I am talking about going to the deep desert and soloing stuff. And I'm still making, like, rookie mistakes, like not turning my shield on as soon as I arrive in a dangerous area. I really need to remember to pop the shield on. Grab that, pop the shield on, and let's grab all of our stuff, obviously. So one thing that I'm not entirely sure of, guys, is whether or not there's a penalty from dying, aside from us sort of just leaving a whole bunch of stuff that we may have looted. I get the feeling that perhaps maybe some of our gear degrades a little bit as a result of death. Don't quote me on that, though. At least dying to these guys isn't as punishing as, you know, dying to a sandworm, so let's continue on. Again, I don't intend to take too long trying to do all of this. So one thing that I'm not entirely sure of as well is if you loot a body, does the body expire after a while, or can you just store like various amounts of corpses in case you needed to generate some power? Big whiff. Okay, sometimes we don't exactly connect with the blade against heavies for whatever reason, and that can be really, really frustrating, actually. Yeah, these SMG guys can be a bit problematic. Especially when they get close. Whoa. Sniper. Okay, good times. That might be the last one, so I may as well take the body here, so F to pick up the body. There we go. So we've got one corpse. And yeah, I guess it does weigh quite a bit. We need to just bring this back home with us. Pop it in the death still. I assume we got all of the enemies. I'll take that beer. Yeah, a few resources here and there, but that's going to clog up the inventory quite a bit. I'm not going to worry about it, because I can always resource myself at another time. Let's open this up. Oh, hang on, I don't have the band. Let me grab that. And actually, I haven't looted this one as well. There's a few more pistons right there. I've always wondered whether or not people use Emperor's wings, but after reading through quite a few different threads, I think most people consistently say that the full suspensor belt is still the way to go. It's a little bit more versatile. Yeah, I mean, speaking of, there's a blueprint for one. But even at the highest level, it's not really as versatile as the full suspensor belt, apparently. So I'm gonna stick with what we have. And, you know, crafting full suspensor belts is actually quite cheap and easy to do. So I'm happy about that. Okay, back home we go, and let's pop this corpse into the death still. And let's see what happens. And after we do this, I do want to continue on with some more decorating. You guys know how long that tends to take, so I'm thinking that might be the rest of the episode. I've got a few more missions to try and complete. I reckon we can reserve that for the next episode. And perhaps maybe after the next one, we might actually have completed all of our missions, so let's take a look. Deposit corpse. There we go. So, alright. For some reason, I thought the corpse generates electricity and not water. But it is actually water. So there you go. We can get a little bit more water out of using a death still. Maybe I might keep the death still after all. I assume it does need some kind of power to run. Yeah, it does need a little bit of power, 350. We've still got plenty of power to work with. And speaking of power, I'm thinking... I don't know why this never opens. Did I set it up so that it never opens or something? Let me just approach it from the other side. No, it does open. Okay. It's just really weird from down below. It doesn't seem to want to open. But yeah, anyway, let me drop in some more filters here. And I'm thinking of getting rid of some of those like ore refineries and chemical refineries that we've got going in this space. I'm just gonna double check what we can make with it, but I'm pretty sure all of this is available in the large refinery, and all of this is also available in the large chemical refinery. So there's no reason for us to be keeping these two things, I would say. So yeah, let's remove them. Actually, I don't have space for stuff at the moment, which means I just want to move across and drop some of this stuff into storage. Yeah, I like how we can easily get back here rather than have to sort of run all the way to where the ornithopter is. So, all things considered, the way we've built things makes a bit of sense. Where are we keeping cobalt? I guess maybe we don't really have cobalt anywhere. Oh, we've got a little bit of cobalt here. Do want to just keep our fuel. Might grab that one as well. I think that suspensor belt that I've got here, this might not be repairable anymore. So I might need to throw that into the recycler. I'll see if I can eke out a little bit more from it, actually. Yeah, okay. Broken beyond repair. Let's throw it in then. There. Okay. Let's just get rid of those two things. Done. Alright. So, the question is, how do we sort of figure out the layout of this place if we're going to continue to decorate this space? I like having banners on this side. And I do kind of need the medium spice refinery temporarily, obviously, before we get the large one. So maybe if there's any decoration to be done, it's probably just going to be on this side initially. Or what I could do is I could place the water tanks on this side. And that way we'll have a little bit of space to work with around here. It might not be a bad idea. We'll just set things up roughly first. Okay. Probably want to just bring them a little bit closer to each other. Okay, that's decent, I think. And then now that water is stashed away, we could consider whether or not we want to hide them completely. I could put, like, partitions. There be any reason to do that, though? Or should we just leave them out in the open? I'm thinking we could cover them with partitions. And having some kind of an opening like what I've just done here isn't a bad idea, because, you know, you can still access the water when you need to. Like so. Yeah, that looks decent to me. maybe we can do some partitions here as well. We might not be able to get 2 of them though. Or can we? Oh, yes we can. There we go. Just. Okay, cool. I don't know, I'm sort of thinking about this space, and considering the size of it, it seems very grand, right? Maybe this is gonna be good for like some kind of a reception area where, you know, we hold banquets and parties and stuff. I don't really want like a dining room in the center, or sorry, a dining table rather in the center, but rather like an open space where people would sort of stand up, mingle, you know, have dances and stuff. So you might have dining tables on the sides with, you know, dishes and stuff like that, but then an open space with, you know, a rug or 2. That might work. That might work. Anyway. Let me just get the essentials done on this side, and then we sort of think about where to decorate next. I think that's the right spot there. It might be a little bit difficult to align things exactly to the other side, but I think if we can just roughly achieve symmetry, that would be nice. So that looks pretty good to me. Alright. So if we're gonna decorate the space, it'll probably just be this side here before moving on to this side once we get the large refinery going. Or I could move this refinery altogether and have it in a different space. Yeah, I haven't really thought about all of that. Okay, so the next space to hopefully decorate is this space here. So we've got a briefing area. I want this space to look a little bit different. Or do we go with a similar thing? Like, we could make another briefing area, perhaps. You know what? I think we can simply just replicate what we've got on this side over here. Doesn't seem like a bad notion. So if we were in a bigger guild, and again, I'm just sort of playing Imagine here, but if there are multiple missions running, you could have multiple briefing areas for people to sit in. So I think we'll try to do that. That way we're not sort of, you know, overcomplicating things. Let me just see here. No, I think these walls are facing the wrong way. Okay, then we just need these half walls. And one of these. Is there any reason why we need a half wall here? If I get rid of that and just do a full wall, does that become a problem up above? It doesn't. Okay. So I have no idea why I did half walls on that side. I can see why we need a half wall there. Perhaps maybe I was in a bit of a hurry to make all of this. We can fix that. Since, I mean, we're gonna need one of these on this side anyway. Oh, okay. That's a problem. Whoops. That's better. Okay, now let's bring banner across. Okay. And we want another Solido of Caladan. And I'm just wondering whether or not I can move this Solido, have it a little bit more central, like so. But we do want to just quickly fix this up. Perfect. Alright, so sorry guys, I'm just playing around with some possibilities. That is not quite what I want. Is that what I want? Not sure. Get rid of that. And I think what I could experiment with is a half wall. And then we get those pieces back in. So then structural could add a little bit, like so. Does this potentially make the space a little bit darker? Potentially. There's a little bit of light going on here, right? So maybe the answer is to move the light source to the other side. That might illuminate things a little bit better. Okay. I think I'm pretty happy with that. We just need to sort of replicate what we've got going on here with the briefing area. Okay, brilliant. And let's get everything else in. So let's move this back into position. How close do we have it against the wall? It's actually a little bit further away from the wall on this side, isn't it? Before I forget, I do want to get banner back in. I think that is obviously quite important. Okay, now, furnishings. Just make sure it's in the right spot. Just trying to align things, so... Okay, that looks good. And then we just need all the seats, right? So 4 of them. We could go with a different style seats here if we really wanted to. But I'm thinking we just go with the same ones. Oh no! I've just realized I'm out of granite again, so give me a sec, guys. Okay guys, we've got more granite to work with. Let me just quickly tuck away all this stuff that I've got in the ornithopter. Well, now that a sandstorm is actually running through, I better do this pretty quickly. So, let me just throw in a few additional bits and pieces here, and yeah, let's grab everything from the scout. And yeah, all this other stuff I might need to grab and place elsewhere. Okay. Good times. Let's get back to it, shall we? So, where were we? We were constructing chairs. So
Sector weather alert. A large
I think it's probably going to be easier if I just simply place down the amount of chairs that we need, and then we'll sort of move things around later. Hang on a second. Oh, I see what's going on. No, we do need another 4 chairs. Some of the straight ones need to be in there as well, so let's move these aside. Okay. It's a bit finicky, isn't it? Doesn't seem to agree to be moved, but that's okay. I mean, we need to place these things down first. Let me actually remove that one, and then I'll come back to placing another one down.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
Okay, so we've got all of the pieces in. I just need to compare the placement on that side. I mean, that doesn't seem to be very central. I could move some of these if I was feeling really finicky about it, but I'm not going to do that. So that's the amount of space, roughly, that we need. Let's get to it. I think maybe roughly there, maybe a tiny bit more. That looks fine. I think, is that giving us too much space in the center? Maybe. Maybe I can push things together a little bit more. So just a tad. There. There we go. Right, so once that's done, we just need to place the rest in tandem with it. Okay, that looks good to me. So now we just need to figure out the back row, which I don't think should be too difficult. So considering the placement here, I just want to compare the positioning against the rug on this side. I think we have it a little bit closer to the front row. Maybe there's a little bit too much space. Tiny bit more. Brilliant. Okay. Perfect. Are we happy with all of that? I'm thinking yes. There's probably an argument to be made to add a few smaller embellishments to the area as well. Some ornamental pieces here and there. So okay, and perhaps maybe some books. Brilliant. We do the same on this side. We'll sort of mix things up a little bit though, so we'll do this set of books and then I think we'll do another sort of pile. Like that. And do I want some chome books? Maybe on the other side, like so. And then, yeah, more ornaments, obviously. So... okay. Looks decent, if I may say so myself. It is pretty empty out here. I'm not entirely sure if we want to place anything down. Probably not. I don't think there's going to be a rug small enough to fit this space, so we're probably going to have to sort of just leave things to be pretty open and pretty barren. But that's okay. So I'm pretty happy we managed to achieve that pretty quickly, so... but arguably it was a bit of a replication of what we've already got on this side. Yeah, this is kind of a nice balcony area that looks over the rest of the valley on this side, which is pretty cool. I wonder if it might not be a bad idea to place some furnishings out here. Then we probably want some kind of a table obviously. And we could do the same thing on the other side as well. And I'm really sort of just eyeballing stuff here. I'm not really looking to try and align things to the other side too much. So this might be a little bit more asymmetrical. I'm just sort of thinking though, if we use the CHOAM side tables, that might actually illuminate things a little bit for us, right? I mean, it definitely doesn't seem like a light source, but it definitely looks a little bit more interesting. Maybe we go with that instead. It might look a little bit out of place though. But I think every now and then might not be a bad idea to have a little bit of a combination of different types of furnishings together. There we go. Alright. So people have a bit more of a space to enjoy the view outside, which will be nice. Okay. Back indoors though, I just sort of want to think about what other spaces need to be decorated. We did make that office area, or office-looking area, in the previous episode. If I can remember how to get there. Just up here. I think we're okay with everything that we've got going on here. So there's this space, which we need to think about. I think we want to start with getting a rug in. Oh, speaking of rugs, guys, I still haven't done the work for the library just yet. I'm kind of procrastinating on that because, yeah, I feel like that's going to be quite a bit of work to get done. So that looks fine. One thing that I feel like we haven't exactly been using very much, and I've been trying to, is to place down some of these Solido plants. And I think maybe we should figure out some decent spots for it. I think maybe some Solido plants here might look pretty nice. And maybe a couple of Solido plants just over here. I'm glad these don't actually need agave seeds, because otherwise it'd be so difficult to make. Yeah, again, it doesn't exactly illuminate too much, but it does brighten things up a little bit, doesn't it? So I do quite like having the Solido plants. Okay. Wall deco. I could get another one of these down here. And it's only granite as well, and I really like the depiction, which is kind of cool. So we could leave that there. Or is there opportunity to do the same thing on here? Probably not, because we've got like other types of walls going on, and we've got the lighting coming out from this side, so... Sorry guys, that gives me an idea. But I know that we were playing around with the lighting in the previous episode. What happens if we just place the lighting here, right behind the chair? Is that something that's doable? It is. It darkens up this entire area though, because I think this area is quasi-reliant on the light that's placed down in the center over here. So, as much as this is a nice idea to illuminate into the crawler hangar, it's probably not the best option. I don't know, there's something about the Atreides light that we had that just makes the space gel a little bit better. I think this looks best. Wouldn't you guys agree? But yeah, I mean, if you guys have any suggestions on lighting and the issues that we're facing with lighting, do let me know. I'll see if I can implement suggestions. Yeah, I quite like this being in this space. Okay, so what do we want in this space? I mean, that's the real difficulty, isn't it? I think we could probably get some furnishings in on the sides. But I really feel like we're quite limited. It's either wardrobes, bookshelves, or the commodes, which is not really a lot of decorative options if you ask me, and wardrobes seem a little bit out of place if it's not a bedroom, you know? I feel like I don't want to block this, because that's quite a nice feature. So perhaps maybe what we do is... because I was thinking about having two of them, but perhaps maybe just having one on each side. And yeah, so much for me trying to make the walls look a little bit nicer, because we're eventually just covering things up anyway. So I didn't really need to fuss too much. Okay. Looks decent. I don't think we're going to use any partitions in this space. Let's do tables and chairs, but what kind of tables and what kind of chairs is the question. Okay, that definitely feels a little bit odd, doesn't it? Hmm. We could potentially do a piece like that, and then sort of squeeze something similar on the other side. The issue, though, is whether or not the painting is going to be in the way. We might actually be able to squeeze it in. Okay, so that's the idea right there. And then... I think lighting-wise we're okay, we can still keep the light where it is. Although... I'm having a think, because the light seems to not be bothered by the position of the chair, would it be better to have the light be positioned in the center? Right here. It seems perhaps maybe the order of where you place things down might be the trick. So if I removed the table, and then if I go back to lighting, and if I just place this there, in the center, can I then get the table in? Because if we can do that, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, there we go. Alright, the table can be squashed in after the light is placed down. Okay. Well, with that into consideration, let's just move the light to the right spot. It's a little difficult to know where the light is going exactly. In relation to the table, that is. Because we do want things to be quite central, where possible. Or maybe I'm sort of fussing a little bit too much. Maybe. And that looks pretty central to me, but it is a little bit wonky though. I want to try and straighten things up a little bit. No. Better. I think I'm happy with that. So let's get the table in. And obviously the table needs to be quite center. And I might actually move the table once it's down. Just get things nice and aligned. I think we're looking pretty good here, guys. We just need to build everything else, so let's go ahead and do that. And make all of the fine adjustments. Yeah, I still think there's definitely an opportunity for the devs to introduce a lot more decorative items. I mean, there's already a lot to choose from, but I feel like a lot of rooms and their functionality are basically the same thing. So, a few different variations of, you know, tables would be nice rather than just the 3 that we have for the Atreides set. Because at the moment we just have the dining, the desk, and then the side tables, which, you know, we have to sort of use over and over for all use cases. I think we could probably move this tiny bit. There. Possibly. Maybe even more. Okay. I mean, the table definitely seems a little bit too high for all these chairs. But I feel like it still serves a decent purpose, and we could probably just get a few sort of ornamental bits and pieces here. I'm sort of thinking spice jars and stuff. Maybe a carafe or 2. Some books. And yeah, just some glasses would be good. Yeah, if only the Caledonian set would be available, we could sort of mix things up a little bit more. Make the space look even nicer, I would have to say. We probably want stuff going on in the bookcases as well. I'm just looking at the episode length here, but I think we're very close to calling it. But I reckon we can just squeeze in a few ornamental pieces in here, and then we should be good. I wonder if we could argue for like these tables on the side to be parked there. I don't think that is a bad look. So we do something similar on this side once we're done using this as a stepping stone. Okay, there we go. You know what, guys? I am quite proud with how much we managed to achieve in this episode. We decorated quite a bit, and we decorated quite quickly as well, and quite efficiently, so very happy with that. I just wanted to explain to you guys the weapon that I'm looking to try to craft, and I'm thinking of bringing while we're out in the deep desert. The perforator, and I think to some extent there's a lot of recommendations for shell burster as well. I can only make one of these things though, so I might go with the perforator. I think that's the preference, the build that I'm trying to go for. And I only have like enough dust for one, so I might as well just get that crafted right away. So we have yet another piece of equipment in the overall puzzle of all the stuff that we're trying to prepare. And I don't know, guys, are we ready for the deep desert? I feel like we might be getting very, very close to being ready. I just want to address what we've got going on over here. I'm a little bit scared of demolishing that though, so instead of doing that, I think I'm just going to settle for a wall, and we might just do one of these ones for each side. Since we've got these types of walls on this side anyway, so I think it makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Looks good. Let's grab a new weapon, and I'm going to quickly tuck that away upstairs. But I think this is the episode, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I know this one has been a little bit of a mixed bag here, trying to complete missions and doing some more decorating, obviously. And the next episode will probably be quite similar. I just want to take a look at our mission list. So a couple of things are going to be very easy to do. Well, I don't know about this handheld scanner thing to locate a treasure on the open sand. Considering this is a Vermilius Gap quest line, I assume this is going to be very easy to complete. But this is definitely very easy. The only issue is that we need to craft a whole bunch of standard gear, and also the Kirab heavy armor, and we could just use all of that for a few times and complete that quest as well. There's a few more side quests that we need to complete as well. I still don't know whether or not there's any continuation with Atreides Ganon, but there's 3 more here that we can complete as well. So this trade post one, the Anvil, I'm not sure if these are repeatable quests. I assume they might be, and we just need to sort of, find those flares that some of these people send up. Whereas Cutting Edge is definitely something that I've been sort of parking for a while, and I do need to just make myself another Mark 6 cutter ray and just donate my old one. So that's definitely in the cards as well. Anyway, guys, I think this is it. Hope you've enjoyed things. Drop a like if you have. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Stay true. And I'll see you guys in the next one.